In this video, we will be graphing this piecewise function. Okay, so let's do this. Let's graph the top part of this function in blue, and we will graph the bottom part of this function in pink, red, pink, so you can follow exactly what I'm doing. So when I look at this top part of the function, I am thinking y equals x plus 6. Now, I'm only going to use this function when the x values are less than or equal to -3. I'm going to wind up making a table of values to guide me. Okay, usually 3 values are enough to get us started. But I'm going to start with the -3 for sure. All right, that'll be the first number I put down. Now, if I want values that are less than -3, then I'm going to go to -4 and -5. Okay, let's go ahead and set up the pink part. When I look at the pink part of the function, I am thinking y equals -2/3 x minus 3, like as if it was its own function. I'm only going to use this part of the function for x values that are greater than -3. And again, I'm going to set up my little xy chart. Now watch this very carefully. I know that if I want x values that are greater than -3, that would not include -3. But guess what? I'm going to put -3 on the chart anyway, because I need a starting point. When I draw the graph, it's going to go right up to this point. I'm going to show that this point itself is not included by making it an open circle. This will be an open circle, but I still need it. Don't start at -2. All right, start at -3. And then sure, values that are greater than -3 would be -2 and -1. Okay, now going back to the first function, this will be an open circle, this point, all right, there's no or equal to. This will be a closed circle when I graph it. All right, now let's go ahead and get these y values. So I have x plus 6, so that means -3 plus 6, so that's +3. -4 plus 6 is 2. -5 plus 6 is 1. So let's plot these points. So I've got -3, comma, -3. All right, sorry, -3, +3. So that would be right here, and like I said, we'll make that a closed circle. Now -4, comma, 2. Would be here, and -5, comma, 1 would be right here. Now notice the slope is 1, so we'd expect this graph to go up 1 over 1, which it does. But we want the part of the graph that is less than or equal to -3, so we're going to keep on going to the left with it. So just continuing the pattern that we started with our first 3 points. All right, this part of the graph is going to look like this. All right, notice that this is the graph where the x values are less than or equal to -3. That's why it's going to the left. Now let's do the pink part. Okay, so again, we're starting at -3. Now this has the fraction in it and stuff, so I think I will, should I use my calculator? Well, I might as well show you how you could use your calculator, and this is a good time to show you that. Now I could have used a calculator for the first one, but it was just so simple, there's no reason to do that. Now, some students will have trouble because of the fractions, so let's see how you could use your TI-30 XS multi-view. I'm using the table feature of my calculator here. me just pull this down a little. And I'm going to type this function in. So I've got negative 2/3. So negative 2 over 3 x minus 3. All right, so there's my function. Boom. We want to start at negative 3. Actually, that doesn't even matter because we're using ask mode anyway, so it just doesn't matter. So I'm just going to hit enter a few times. Okay, now we want to do negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. So here we go, negative 3, negative 2, and negative 1. Okay, so I've got negative 3, comma, negative 1. That's the most important point. So I have negative 3, comma, negative 1 would be right here. Now remember, we want to make this an open circle. Now I've got these other points which are like decimals, okay? So, you know, I really don't want to use these. So this is like negative 1.6, which would be like about here. And this next one, if we look at it, I'm going to hit the toggle key. That's negative 2.3. All right, so that's about here. But look, here's what I want to do instead. Let's use what we know about graphing lines. See the slope, negative 2 over 3? That means down to right 3. So let's just do that. So starting from here, if I go down to right 3, I'll be here. And I can repeat that. Down to right 3, down to right 3, down to right 3. Use the slope. Okay? The calculator was helpful in getting me that starting point, but after that, really the slope is helpful. So this part of the function is going to look just like this. And that's it. You know what? We're supposed to say the domain and range. So let me mention that real quick. The domain is how far the graph goes from left to right. So the domain for this graph is just going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, this graph goes left forever and right forever. So negative infinity, positive infinity. Now the range is how far the graph goes from bottom to top. So this graph goes from negative infinity, because it goes down forever, up to this height, which is at 3 on the y-axis. So negative infinity to 3. And we'll put a square bracket on it. That's a closed circle. It touches 3. It's to be included.